Dear God, I got one question. I need to know, do revolutionaries go to heaven? And if so, may their legacies last forever and their seeds grow. Tell them that we love them so and never let them die slow. It's like we cursed to be born black. We was kings and queens, now look where we at. I know it won't be long before we take it back. I just hope I live long enough to see it happen, and that's a fact. Cause one thing when you pro-black, you might love your people, but they may not love you back. For more than 400 years, we've been under attack. We survived slavery and then they gave us crack. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? 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 I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope so. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope.
So yeah, I guess I'll start. So, I'm Fakado Wold, and that's my Ethiopian baptismal name. I was baptized in Ethiopia when I was 17 years old. I'm originally from Jamaica, St. Thomas, Jamaica, on the east side. I'm an Asante descendant. The so-called Maroons of Jamaica. From there, I gained innately through my grandmother healing energy, and I use that now for personal and for business. They call it Reiki now, but I've been doing it my whole life. It's just, genetic pass down. And yeah, our business together, we do Reiki and add Reiki, more specifically Reiki sound bath, which you can go on my website and you can see exactly what that is. As soon as you drop in, there's a video and it's me doing the actual service, part of the service. And Mescal here does admin, and I'll let her continue and explain a little bit about herself.
So what's going on? I'm Mescal Kebra, also baptized Ethiopian Orthodox, my baptismal name. I'm from West Coast of California, Oregon, all of that. And I do administrative half of what we do. We have a couple of really cool clients that we've been providing our administrative services for. We do a lot of different stuff. We really try to keep it centered around like mindfulness, giving folks access to just services to streamline their business, but also to give them a different perspective, because we have a different view on life, and we try to bring that into everything that we do. And that's why we really brought administration into the Reiki services, because people need help with everything. So here we are. We're here to be a service and to be of service to folks. So yeah, really excited to talk about some of the stuff that we're doing right now. We got some big stuff planned, and it's just really exciting. It's an exciting time in general. And if you haven't, if you do go to our website, you also got to check out the blogs. The blogs are really hot right now. The blogs are really going into like why we do what we do. And it's just awesome. It's awesome to be able to share this knowledge and to be able to have this conversation going. So, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Shout out to Ethiopia, Jamaica, and California. Some of our greatest minds and most powerful people have came from those places,
For sure. It's like that.
Let me see, give me 1 second. I'm going to check the questions.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the weather's like over there, because we've been looking out, because it's been really sunny for these past couple of days, and it was really cold and rainy and all that. So yeah. We're really thankful, because, as sun people, we go crazy without the sun, low-key.
Is it Jonathan?
No, I think.
Okay. Just to punch back in, now I just read the first question that you sent me. I know y'all kind of touched on it a little bit, but the question was, what are you doing with your business now? Because when I met you guys, I believe I was in Ethiopia. It was my first day in Ethiopia, but I think y'all might have been there a couple days already.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so right now specifically, since that time, we have really grown and transitioned, because even our name has changed. You know, we were Infinite Vortex of Light originally, and we are now Portals of Samadhi LLC. And you know, we went through the whole, you know, making our business completely legit, because you know, now we have products. Like one of those products is Key Tea, which is Reiki infused teas, organic teas. Most of them come from Jamaica, the actual tea leaves from my parents' estate out there. And what we're gonna do right now, so this is the important part of what we're gonna do right now. We're actually gonna move to Jamaica. So we're gonna go back there because we purchased some land recently. We have 1.5 acres, and it's by a newly developing community. And that community is by a bridge that's being built at this moment, of finishing about a year, and it links St. Thomas, the east side of the island where I'm from, to the rest of the island. And it's a really important moment in Jamaica too, because you know, St. Thomas has been kind of left out of the tourism that's been taking place in the rest of the island. But as soon as this bridge finishes, tourism is they're gonna rush. The tourists are gonna rush over to our side because they want to come, but the roads are really bumpy, and there's a lot of things that keep them out. So with this newly developed highway, you know, it's smooth ride. And the spot that we have chosen, with the help of my parents, the spot that we've chosen to get land, it's right there by the highway. So we're gonna actually be setting up a resort / retreat center on our land. And that's why we're leaving the States. We're gonna go there, have, you know, rent a place and pour our money into it, in a sense, that we because everything we do is online, so we're not actually needed here. Where we don't go into a 9 to 5. All of our business is online. So, you know, over time we've searched for investors and even angel donors, but we realized that the way the world is set up, certain powerful movements, they're not really trying to help. You know, they're kind of on the other side, if you want to put it that way, of the movement. So we're trying to do it ourselves and still seek angel donors who are about the cause and are about people having their sovereignty. Our folks, mainly, I would say, because you know, we're the ones who are economically below certain marks, if you want to put it that way, in society. But people in general, you know, gaining their spiritual and their financial sovereignty. So that's what we defend, in a sense, and that's what we're quickly moving towards. There's one more part of that I want to touch on, which is what you're doing, which is honestly, brother, it is really what's the word? It is inspirational.
Yeah.
Yeah. The traveling, tapping into our folks in Africa, bridging the gap between the States and Africa, it is really revolutionary. And we see you, and we really respect that. And we actually want to join you, you know, in that. So by us moving to Jamaica, we'll have all these extra funds to spend, and we're gonna put it into traveling. So, you know, even after this interview, we gotta have a personal talk between all of us and make some plans, because we see what you're doing, and you know, we've been getting our lives, because you know, we have our youths and we have our family situation. We've been making it all work, and now we're going to take it to that level where we can actually free up and travel as we like. But
yeah. And you can actually book, anybody can book a call or tea chat we call it a tea chat because, you know, it's an opportunity for us to just sit and have like a virtual, like you would go to a cafe, but you know, we do Zoom and stuff now. So you can actually go to our homepage and book a time for us to meet, and just chat with us. And yeah, it's funny because a lot of the things that we were doing in Ethiopia, after we met you, we had went on to open that cafe in Lalibela. And a lot of the things that we did in Ethiopia gave us this deeper understanding of not only like how to run business, but also like what it really means to be with people and have people coming from overseas. And you know, because we didn't really know Europeans like that before we moved
that's
to
true.
before we moved to Ethiopia. And having that cafe out there just opened us up to a whole wormhole of different cultures and different perspectives on life. And yeah, people need to be in conversation and they need to move around. And we're really about that nomad life at the end of the day, because people were doing that for a long time and it worked because it gave you it just opens your mind. People who don't travel, it's hard. I'm not saying anything against, I'm just saying if you get the opportunity to travel, take it.
Oh yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. I definitely do. That means a lot coming from y'all, because I've been following y'all. Like I say, it's been a few years. I don't know what year was that, like 2018 or 19. But y'all done share so much information and y'all done grew together. Y'all got the family. You know, it's definitely inspiring. Let me see. I wanted to ask you about the next thing, sound bath. What is that, and what are the benefits of that?
So Reiki sound bath is literally projecting, in the basic form, projecting healing energy on the sound waves of the crystal singing bowls, which I do and have done before even the sound bath part of it. I've done it with music in general. Playing guitar, because I used to do music a lot when I was younger, and this is where it built from. I used to go to a lot of shows, specific places in New York, Georgia, some Florida. But when I grew older, I got to realize that I was actually doing sound healing. That's what I actually do. It's not so much mainstream music, you know, and there was a point where I was following mainstream music. This is just to give the back end on it, where I was following mainstream music in a sense to kind of become an artist. But then I reached a point and I was like, I'm not an artist like an artist out there. My music is to heal people and bring them up in a spiritual manner, which is where music was kind of progression into in the 90s. But you know, the devil kind of swept in and took it and made it something else. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to do is continue the right path of it. But Reiki sound bath specifically is healing through energy. So when I was younger, around 14 or so, I had a real enlightening experience. I used to go down to the Cal Rock, a place called Cal Rock in the Hudson Valley, because I grew up in Poughkeepsie, New York as part of my life. And I went there almost every day and I would meditate, like deep, long meditations, sometimes 12 hours at a time, meditations. And this is what really began my journey. And I used to read real important materials, like Buddhist scriptures, Hindu scriptures, even the Bible, you know, and other books. But I learned over time the actual essence of the writings that led to me having a deep understanding of actual spirituality. And then I realized my grandmother used to do this stuff. So it kind of came as an innate thing inside of me. Because my grandmother had me really close, you know. She passed away when I was 12, but when I lived in Jamaica up until like 8 years old, on and off, because at one point I traveled back and forth the States and Jamaica. My grandmother really held me closely. So I really benefited off of that real high frequency love energy, in the sense of it grew my spirituality and my development at an older age. I don't want to spiral off, but Reiki simply is Reiki. Starting with Reiki, specifically, Reiki is spiritual energy. That's really what Reiki means, or sun energy, because Ra. If you want to take it all the way back to Kemet, it's sun energy, and we are sustained by the sun, which actually feeds our electromagnetic energy inside of us, and that's what the Orientals call ki. And I worked directly with that. There's a lot of people out there that, they say they're like Reiki healers, but they're actually lying to the people, because I've actually been to a lot of these people for the service just to see if it's true or not, because I actually do it. So I know if it's true or not. And maybe like one person so far in my experience that actually does it. Other than that, it's usually people saying, let's imagine this is happening to you, or imagine that's happening to you. But when it comes to actual energy healing, there's nothing to imagine. It's a real phenomenon, if you want to put it that way. And it's a part of everybody, but only few beings are actually aware of it and able to consciously move it within their bodies and throughout their bodies. And I'm one of those people. So what I do is I project this energy onto the vibrations of the crystal singing bowls, and I use them to wash away toxins from people's bodies, bad feelings, sad emotions. And I've had a good amount of clients, and they all attest to being changed, after they have a session with me. Like, their entire being is transformed. They come a certain way and they leave brand new. So it's something that I really do, and it's something that I specialize now in, which, along with NLP life coaching. So we also have life coaching sessions, and a part of these life coaching sessions is the Reiki sound bath ceremonies, the attunement sessions. And during these attunement sessions, my crystal singing bowls are specific. They're tuned to 432 hertz, which is the love, unconditional love frequency. And there's all 7 of the bowls from the base chakra straight to the crown chakra. And I tune all 7 chakras during these ceremonies. So hope that made it.
And I gotta say, because I spent a lot of my life wearing glasses, and something that we've been working on together is actually like doing, my own healing. A lot of my family is sick. I grew up with a lot of my elders right now are sick. And it's something else that we have to put work in for. But I've actually been able to, like, as you can see, the last time we were speaking, I had glasses. I don't wear my glasses anymore. And it was kind of a funny experience. I went into the ocean. I was wearing my glasses. My glasses came off and I lost them. And I was like, well, that's the sign. First of all, why am I wearing my glasses in the ocean? But the next thing is, like, if I'm serious about healing, then I need to heal myself too. And I think that, going through this process, like, my vision has completely gotten better in a lot of different ways. I'm still healing, but at the same time, it's like the first part is really taking that initiative. So I really encourage people, like, even if you go to our website and you see some information that you're interested in and you're like, I'm more hungry for this, and you want to set up a meeting or whatever, if you even just start doing your own research, it'll do so much for you, just to be hungry for knowledge, just to be hungry to want to change. So I can't stress enough, like, figure out what it means to you to make that change, because it's monumental. It's monumental.
Wow, that's amazing. I truly appreciate y'all sharing that information. I'm sure the viewers is enjoying it as well. It's very interesting because people need healing right now, especially post-COVID. Even though the pandemic is over, the lockdown is over, a lot of people are still suffering mentally. That's why I started my mental health group, just to try to help as many people as I can. I can't help myself because we all human, so